my latest toy. Less than £20 at Argos. The reason I bought it is because my arches, the inner part of the arch, the lip, is rubbing on the top of my tyre. That's cutting the tyre. Should have done an unboxing video, shouldn't I? So yeah, I've wound up the suspension a little bit, but I need to actually roll the arches, and that way I could probably take about another inch out of my car. Let's see which way this opens. It's probably going to be the other way. That would be a big clue. That's got the name on it. All that. And a little cable tie. Right, 1 second. Be back with a cutter. Some side cutters. Bit overkill. Oh no, littering. I shall put it in the plastic recycling. Oh, there we go. They've obviously supplied some scraping tools and hope that I'm going to do some DIY. But yeah. Looks pretty good. So, let's get this thing plugged in. Heat up my arches a little bit. Not that there's much paint left on there to crack, or yeah, not much paint left on them. 90s paint coverage. Heat them up, get my roller on, heat them up, and then see if I can give my car a little bit more clearance. And I may have a look at taking the under splash guards, inner wing guards off to give me a little bit more room. Okay, you join me just before I start doing my little job on my car. First of all, I need to build this. Yep, it's a fender reforming tool, as they call it. It's actually going to be used to roll the inner lip of my arch, using that bit there. Right, but first of all, I need to magically make it so this will probably take about an hour. And there we have it. That probably was about an hour. Typical eBay purchase. I'm missing some bits, namely a washer to go on that part there, but I'll see if I can find one at work. But yeah, the idea is that part there bolts to the hub once you take the wheel off, and then obviously you adjust this bar to adjust the angle of the arm, and then whilst it's bolted to the wheel hub, you rotate this left and right to roll flat the inner lip on the wheel arch. That's the plan anyway. I've got a heating gun as well, so as I said before, I'll probably burn the paint off doing it. But yeah, let's get it to the car and see what we can do. Well, here we are, early Saturday morning, making a start on these inner lips. First of all, I need to jack my car up, get the wheel off, get underneath and have a look. So let's get that done. Right, my wheel is off. That's my rear coilover. I think the only place my tyre is catching, if it will show, is a tiny bit up here. So I'm going to clean behind here if it focuses. Ta-da! Right, I'm going to clean behind here, heat this up a little bit, and roll this over, and hopefully that'll give me the clearance I need to drop the rear a little bit more. Fingers crossed. Well, at least it will stop it rubbing. That's something. Right, so my wheel arch roller is on and adjusted. Heat gun at the ready. I can't really do this with one hand, so hopefully after lots of effort and having cleaned behind here, I think the theory is you obviously let the handbrake off and roll this backwards and forwards a little bit. As I say, I only need to take a little bit out, and the paint's already cracked here. Just bearing in mind it's a 24-year-old car on its original paint. Yes, let's get some heat in this and see what happens. So yeah. Okay. Hard to see, but I've rolled back the arch a little bit. Quite a lot of paint crack, which I knew would happen because the paint's really old. Cleaned the drum off a bit, cleaned a bit of surface rust off here, which I'm also going to treat, but I'm also going to measure this gap, because I'm hopeful that the tyre wasn't rubbing anywhere else. There's that there, but I think that's probably where I miss here with the hammer. There's no indication on the tyre that that's been touching. If I can show you the tyre, rust treatment ready. See, the tyre had the tiniest of score marks on the edge, which it won't do. So that was under full compression of suspension. Hard to tell really, because obviously if it did rub on here, it would wear off as you went along. But I think it's just this little bit here, which I should have avoided. Right, so I'm going to rust treat the inner part of the arch, measure the coil over, and see where we are, or suspension strut. Right, give the drum a quick flash of black, treated some of this. I've put some rust treatment on all the underside of the lip. See if it will work. So I put some Cure Rust, some Jello Light, or Jello Light, and also put some Cure Rust on top. As I said, I did get a bit of cracking, but got to expect it on the paint because it's 24 years old. Yeah, fairly pleased with that. Now I've got to decide if I'm going to take a little bit more out of the suspension. I may take just a little bit, just to see. Okay, yep, so let's wind the coil over down, or up, down, around, and then put the wheel back on, see what happens. Right, I've moved everything over to the other side, and let's make a start on this. Only took a centimetre out of the suspension on the other side, because I think I'm going to have to get some adjustable drop links, and perhaps get the geometry checked a little bit. I'll just show you what I mean if I come around. Let's come underneath the car. Right, I'm underneath we have a bit hard to see. There we go, the drop link there, and yeah, the wishbone, not the wishbone, it's because my brain's upside down. The anti-roll bar is almost horizontal with the chassis, so I think I need to get some adjustable drop link bars to perhaps push it slightly or adjust it. Not too clued up on suspension geometry, but there you go. So this is the driver's side, and as you can see, it's made a few little cuts in the top side, but there's no rub mark on the inside edge. So the rub mark on the other side was clearly from me with the hammer. Yeah, this is the bit about the drop link. I'm not too sure on this bit because obviously the shorter I make this, and I've already adjusted this to 13 centimeters like the other side, that measurement there, because it was 14 and a half, the other was 14. I'm not so sure whether this geometry is metal. Again, something I'm going to have to do some reading on. Yeah, power flow exhaust, how nice. Still looking good. I'm looking at ordering some new ones of these, slightly beefier. Yeah, not much clearance, is there? Lovely car. Right, let's get on with rolling this arch. So that's the driver's side done. As you can see, a little bit of cracking, and obviously I've scraped off a bit of surface rust there, and I will now treat that, spray this, get the wheel back on, run it around the block, see what happens. I knew this was going to happen. It's only about 4 degrees outside, and no matter how much heat I put in the car, it's just too cold. Check that out! Doesn't it look so much better? Now with the rear brake drum painted black, I've taken another centimetre out of the car. I'm just going to drive around and see if it rubs, and if it doesn't, I'll be happy. Well, I'm going to take a little bit more out the front whilst I'm here with all my tools. As I took it for a test drive, and you can actually feel that the rear is slightly lower than the front, but we're only talking a centimetre, but it's enough to annoy me. Right, so just cleaning off, a bit hard to see, this lower bit here. They've obviously, the treatment has come off, a bit hard to see, but I've cleaned it back a little bit, so I'm going to put some anti-rust treatment on it and then seal it up. I've taken another little bit out of my front suspension, so we will see if that rubs or if that's okay. So there we go. That's pretty much 1 3/4 to 2 inches taken out. Still looks fairly high, but I'm going to have to do some work to get it much lower. But I'm impressed. It handles so well. Right, thanks for watching. If you could please like, subscribe, yeah, because more videos will be coming soon. Thanks.